Hello, friends. Welcome to my program, Carol's Punch. Today, I'm going to cover the part 3 of Russia-Ukraine War 2022. It's going to be the military review. Finally, we're coming up to summing up its military strategic review. The Russia-Ukraine war, which is still ongoing, is a hybrid war, blend of conventional, unconventional, irregular, cyber, and information warfare, with overall aim of political and economic gains. Russia fought a 20th century war against 21st century weapons, NATO weapons. Remember the manpad, manpack, javelin, Singer, and multi-drone, including the Turkish Patriots. Russia was found wanting of infantry, the queen of battle. Infantry is required to clear all the manpads and nest and the built-up areas. The reorg in Russia from 2009 has gone towards more mobile warfare to beat the NATO forces, but they forgot that actual battle is fought on the ground. Now, the next was the great Russian strategy, where massive fire or artillery, neutralizes the entire targets, the objectives, the area of battle by air, land, RT. Now the god of war, as they used to call him, around which the mechanized forces, armor, infantry took the war. That was missing. At critical periods, Russians were just soldiers, were just fighting their own battle. The Russian soldier, most of them were conscripts, just had about a year service, and they had no will to fight. Now the time chosen was the winters, the great winters, when even the German army collapsed in Ukraine and Germany and Russia. Now the Russian mechanized forces, tanks, got bogged down. And once they got bogged down, they could not go off-road, or they got stuck into the muddy jungles. They became easy targets. The great aerospace of the Russians again failed to give critical air support during the troops. There was no air supremacy as such because of the manpack missiles. The ground attack aircrafts were missing from the zone. So the attack helicopters and armor became easy targets. Now remember, this was people's war. And from the Ukrainian side, every man and woman fought. They turned into territorial army militias, and each house was given to them to fight. They fought like tigers. The Russians never knew what was happening to them. Right from the day one, they were stuck in all built-up areas and in the muddy, snowy land of Ukraine. What a war. Now remember, in the war strategy, supremacy uh, of force, that is, in an attacking force, should at least be 5 to 7 ratio to 1. But surprising so, the ratio was 1 is to 1 because Russia got about a lakh 50,000 plus troops amassed, you know, with about 6 CA armies and their own guard divisions, tank divisions, 4 of them. But then, the Ukraine had the same amount of force, or much more, 1,50,000 regulars and about 9 lakh militia. Plus, they had, foreign fighters. Now, this was an hybrid war. So you had foreign fighters over 20,000. You had people who were veterans in Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, all getting together, and they could, even if they were old, also they could fire the Stingers and the javelin missiles, and that proved that the battles can be won against superior forces. Now you see the strategy which they had done, the Russians. They had gone on 4 fronts with number of subsidiaries. That is over an area of 2,500 kilometers, and each front was about 300 kilometers apart. So therefore, there was paucity of artillery, coordination was bad, and the troops suffered heavily because Ukraine was prepared in successive defense lines. Now, if you have few such lines and they are close enough, you can concentrate and reshift. But here, from the northern to southern was about 3,000 kilometers. The Ukrainians really fought well. The Russians, as usual, uh, went with a bang. They failed to capture any of the cities, but for Kherson, where, mind you, Kherson, Kyiv, Suma, the Russians, the Donbass region, Russians lost about 9 generals and about 30 tank leading commanders, mechanized commanders. Their troops refused to move forward when they got bogged down, and the generals and the commanders had to go ahead. So, the value firepower is not going to work, President Putin. You will have to do much more. And reorg of only mechanized forces will not do. You have got a war where you have to fight in built up areas all the time. So, you will have to change your strategy for that. Well, as I've said, over 20 to 40,000 soldiers have died. Trillions of worth of, you know, uh, homes, buildings, infrastructure has been destroyed. What is President Zelensky up to? An actor. Imagine, in today's war, you go and fight the war in other soil, other nation's soil. The Europeans no longer want a war in their area. The Americans don't want it. The Russians don't want it. And you show very poor statesmanship. And you allow your area to be the cockpit of the war where the Americans can try out their weapon system. Certainly, you could have shown a better statesmanship. Remember, the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, right on the second or third day of the war, spoke to President Putin and Zelensky and saw that his 20,000 students were pulled out. Well, that is statesmanship. President Zelensky should learn a lesson from this. You just cannot keep getting your people killed, however heroic they are. I feel sorry for the citizens of Ukraine. Now, I'm reminded of the Indo-Pakistan War of 71, where Bangladesh was liberated in 13 days. The force level was same on both sides, but we have massive uh, support of the locals, and we crossed major rivers bigger than Danapur. Four major rivers: Brahmaputra, Megha, and went straight for Dacca, invested Dacca, and 93,000 prisoners of war were captured. The whole battle came to front. It was like Kyiv. Russia could not get Kyiv and had to, barrage and bombard the whole other cities. That's not right. Remember what Mahatma Gandhi ji had said: "Eye for an eye will make the whole world blind." Yes, I can recall the old Indian saying, "The whole world is in family." Jai Hind. Jai Hind.